Hello, everyone. Pastor Eric here from King of Kings, and I wanted to go live today and address the president's declaration that churches are essential, and to share with you the conversations we've been having as a leadership team and staff about returning to in-person gatherings, particularly in-person worship at King of Kings. First, I want to say that I'm grateful to hear that the president declares that churches are essential to our society. I believe that we're in a very stressful and anxious time right now, and I believe that faith in Jesus provides us with the assets needed to navigate this crisis or any crisis. However, we're also called as followers of Jesus to love our neighbors as much or more as we love ourselves. And so during this pandemic, we've needed to discern what loving our neighbor looks like. And I'm convinced that loving our neighbor means doing our part to continue to slow the spread of this virus as much as is reasonably possible until our healthcare providers know more about how to treat it and how to sustain life in the midst of it. And so while I totally understand the desire to get back to life as we once knew it as a church, I don't believe that that is wise or responsible. Large public gatherings do the most harm to spreading the virus, particularly amongst vulnerable populations, those who are over 65, those who are immunocompromised. We have a number of those folks that fall into one of those two categories in our congregation. In addition, many of the activities of public worship are considered high risk: singing, greeting one another, congregating around food before and after services, participating in how we do communion currently. All of these are very meaningful to our family of faith. They're very important aspects of our life together. They're also very high risk for transmission of the COVID-19 virus. And so while I would love for us to go back to be back on Sunday worshiping as we have as soon as we possibly can, I don't believe that at this time it is the wise, responsible, or faithful action to take. And so what the president has declared today, that is irrelevant to this determination. Just because we can do something, that does not mean we should do something. This last Monday, our church council met to begin discussion of what a path forward would look like. And we're being guided by a couple of documents. First, the Governor of Michigan's Safe Start plan, as well as recommendations that came down last week from the Southeast Michigan Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. And in looking at those documents and talking it over, we've determined together as a leadership team that as of right now, and for the foreseeable future, we will continue worshiping online via YouTube live stream. We will also continue to gather after each service for virtual coffee hour via Zoom. And we will continue to have breakouts, which are our digital small group gatherings. Those will continue to happen through the week. We're actually entering into week 6 of those. We'll probably take a week break, and then there will be breakouts available for those who want to participate in those in the month of June. That's going to be our plan until we receive word from our local and state public health and government officials, and we discern those recommendations as a leadership team that in-person gatherings are safe and responsible. And when that happens, we will abide by their guidelines for what those gatherings will need to look like. Understand that even when we are able to gather in person, it is exceedingly complicated and will require substantial adaptation and adherence to some policies that will help us to keep one another safe and to have worship in a way that is responsible but also meaningful. And we're putting together a team right now that will develop a plan for what to do when we reach that point. I know how hard this is. I know that it's a hard time for me as well. There was not a class in seminary about pastoring during a pandemic, and we are all doing the best that we can. There's so much for me to be grateful for as your pastor. So many of you have been very complimentary about our shift online. Our leaders and staff have done an amazing job and have been remarkable support. Our breakouts have gone tremendously well, and we are reaching new people through our streaming worship. Financially, we're in as strong of a position as I would have imagined us being in, and that's due to the generosity of our members. And so that leads me to remind you that even though we're not in the building on Sunday, the church is not closed. We are open for business. We are worshiping passionately, connecting deeply, and living generously. It's just happening in a different way. And it's going to be happening in a different way, at least for the next little while. In the midst of this crisis, I do see God doing incredible things. And so even though this is a challenging season, there is much for us to give glory to God for and to be grateful to God about. If you have any questions or concerns, or you'd like to talk to me further about this or any other need that you might be having, do not hesitate to reach out. God bless, and I hope to see you on Sunday. Thanks for watching.